Hello, my trigger happy friends. Holy fuck! What the fuckity fuck. Okay, first of all, let me just start off by saying the Snyder Cut has been announced. Fuck yes. Y'all called me crazy. Not y'all, but a lot of other people did. A lot of other y'alls. You guys know. We were alone for a long time, and then it went public, became mainstream back in November, and we didn't look so crazy no more. Did not. Motherfuckers. Yes, it's been announced weeks ago, and I've been silent, not because I don't want to talk about it, but because I can't. I couldn't record. I couldn't record fucking anything. Talk about the worst timing in the world. Talk about what could have been the best timing in the world turned into the worst timing in the world. Because by coincidence, I've been doing my Superman live action movie review series with my Batman live action movie review series leading up to my review for Batman v Superman. If that would have panned out exactly how it was supposed to, it would have coincidentally landed right about the same time as the Snyder Cut announcement. That would have been fucking perfect. But to the powers that be, I don't know if you guys know, I don't know how many other YouTubers do this, but I record everything from my phone. Not my audio. My audio is recorded separately onto my computer because I'm a musician and I just happen to have all this recording equipment. So utilize it, sound good, thumbs up. But my video I record on my phone. And I actually do my editing from my phone. Yes, I know I can do it from the computer, but I never meant to do this shit. I never wanted to get into editing. I just happened to fall into it doing Lego videos with my son, which, by the way, if you want to go check out Cade Pro Films on YouTube. You can see our Batman Lego videos that we did there. Yeah, but I just got this editing software that I could do really quick and all this stuff, and it worked out really well, so I ended up paying for it and bought the whole thing for my phone. And, like, now I'm super fucking fast at it on my phone. And why not? You guys didn't know it was from my phone. You guys didn't know I edited from my phone. And a lot of people are pretty shocked to find or to learn that I am editing from my phone because the program is actually pretty damn good. I use Cyberlink Power Director, and I paid for the whole thing before they made you to do a subscription, so I got grandfathered into not having to pay for that shit every month, thank God. But it works out, it works great, and yeah, also on my phone, and I destroyed my phone. It's a long story short on this one. I destroyed the fucking phone. I went to order a new phone, and it took 3 weeks to get here, and that was the longest 3 weeks of my life. Now, luckily, I already had my Batman v Superman recorded. And luckily, Past Steve was smart enough to actually back that up on the computer before I destroyed my phone. So, yeah, I was sitting in limbo. I was supposed to have this phone 3 days. 3 fucking days after I ordered it. And it took 3 weeks. And you call them up like, hey, what's up with the phone? And they're just using that, oh, you know, COVID-19. That's all they say. It's COVID-19. And then this motherfucker sends me a tracking number 2 weeks later, and it's the tracking number says he printed off a label. Doesn't even say he shipped it. It hasn't been scanned by the postal service yet. He just printed off the label. He's giving me the runaround. Now I'll give him a break. There is a pandemic going on. He might be overwhelmed, but I just wish he would have communicated with me a little bit better, because every week I'm like, oh, new phone coming, video's coming, and no. I kept not producing things. Luckily, I was able to do a podcast with my friend Durbin from the channel Durbania, and I uploaded a free version of the Cyberlink Power Director because, again, pandemic, I'm a musician, I'm out of a job, don't have that much money right now. So I uploaded the free version for my computer until I got my phone back, and when I got my phone back, obviously it would have all that shit attached to it. But I was able to edit it, and I was feeling good. I was like, you know what, I might actually buy the laptop version of this. But then, this motherfucker, it would post to every YouTube channel I had, except Film Trigger. I couldn't figure it out. I still don't know why. It wouldn't let me post to Film Trigger. It just would not read Film Trigger as a postable site. I don't understand. I could not wrap my head around it. It would post to my Stevie Cade Music YouTube channel. It would post to my Studio 47 YouTube channel. It would post to my Cade Pro Films movie channel. Or whatever channel. But it would not post to fucking Film Trigger. I spent hours, fucking hours trying to figure this out. I could not figure it out. I was done. My hands were in the air. I could not. And the thing is like when you save it, this Cyberlink Power Director thing saves it as its own format. So I can't just like, save it as a different format and upload it separately, or I don't know. They made it impossible. So what I ended up having to do was I was like, okay, well, I will think outside the box and I will try to trick this motherfucker into getting on YouTube. So I screen record the actual podcast with the card and everything, but and I sat there. The podcast is almost 2 hours long, and so I screen recorded it, just set the computer out, and it was a good time for me to listen to it and make sure everything sounded great. But so I was like, haha, I beat you, motherfucker, because I can upload my captures to YouTube just fine. So when it video captured and I put the card up on the screen, there's some sort of, I don't know, protective something rather, copyright protective on the on my screen capture that won't allow me to do anything outside of that, outside of my editing software. So, or anything that's being recorded as video, I can't add any other elements to it. So instead of it recorded the audio just fine, but it also recorded what I was editing, like the actual like raw editing screen, rather than just the thumbnail that I made for this. And it just looked unprofessional. It looked like a hack job. It sounded great, and I was like, okay. I debated on putting that on YouTube. I was like, because it was the 30th anniversary of TMNT, the 30th anniversary of it, and we're not gonna have another one of those. And I really want to get that video up on the 30th anniversary. And so I thought about putting it on YouTube, and then I couldn't let my integrity would not let me put that on YouTube. I had to put it out, so I put it on my Patreon page. I was like, you know what? This will show some love to my Patrons, because I know they need it right now. Thank you, Patrons. I love you guys. There's a special video leading up to this podcast, by the way. You can check it out right now if you're a Patron. And if you're not a Patron, you can click in the description below and become a Patron. So anyway, I put it on my Patreon page and said, hey guys, this is like a rough edit, or not rough edit, but I explained the whole thing to them, and I said, just here, take a listen if you want to listen to it. Because I need somebody to listen to this on the 30th anniversary of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, for fuck's sake, please. And that's where it's been for 2 weeks. So, finally got my phone, finally able to edit. I have so much shit I have to do. I put out my Full Frontal Nerdity podcast with Durbin, just about an hour ago. I'm doing this podcast. I need to edit my BVS, which is going to be on taking, so I'm guessing about another week for that. I also need to record my rankings for the Superman movies and the Batman movies. Both will include Batman v Superman on each of their lists and where it lands on those in the ranking. And then I can finally move forward with shit that I was supposed to already be done with by now. I was supposed to do a John Wick review series with Durbin, because I've never seen any of the John Wicks, and he was going to do a review series with me on that, and I had to push that off. He's already watched. Knowing Durbin, he probably already has his recorded, and I'm over here. I'm done. I've been beat down with this COVID thing, and the Snyder Cut being released was such a bittersweet moment for me, because my video for BVS would have coincided with that, would have been perfect, but it didn't. And not only that, I was unable to actually put a celebratory video out. So frustrating. Like, it just seemed like as soon as that Snyder Cut got announced, just Film Trigger said, fuck it, I'm done talking about it. Oh, man. 1 out of 10. That is my life, guys. I am 1 out of 10. 9 times out of 10, that won't happen to somebody. But me, I'm the 1 out of 10. You know that, I don't forget what that commercial was for, the Dentine gum or maybe Trident gum. And it says 4 out of 5 dentists recommend it, and the 5th dentist didn't recommend it because he got bit in the nuts by a fucking squirrel or whatever. That's me. I'm that dentist. It's not that I don't like the gum. It's I got bit in the nuts, and it fucking just came out wrong. That's what happened. I got bit in the nuts with the Snyder Cut announcement. I was unable to comply or unable to express my happiness, and I'm so happy. I have my own concerns about it though. With the HBO Max, and my concerns are more of how are they going to handle this? You know, is it going to be a series, which I'm okay with? Am I going to be able to have a hard copy that I can keep for myself? That is the biggest thing I want to know. Or am I only going to be able to watch this on HBO Max? They better put out a hard copy. I'll tell you what. And is this going to make enough money for them to continue the Snyder Cut vision? So yeah, there's all those concerns, all that stuff, along with everything else. Oh my God, the shutdown of the world. You know, I was out of a job because music, people weren't hiring music. So I was doing cooking jobs, odd jobs. I ended up landing in a job doing drywall and shit. Pays good, work a lot of hours. New world for me because being a musician, I made shit ton of money and I didn't work except for like 5 hours a day. So not too bad. But this, it's good. It breaks up the monotony of my life and it makes me value my time a little bit better, I think. But during this pandemic shutdown, I ended up, I don't want to say meeting somebody because I've known this somebody for a very long time, about 10 years or so, give or take. And we decided to give it a go, and now she lives with me. And and now my house is a wreck because she had all of her own stuff, and my stuff sucks apparently, so she moved all her stuff in, which is fine because my stuff did suck. I was in denial of it. I totally had a dad pad here, just because it's just me and my kid, you know. So it's nice to have a woman touch in the house. It's not even a touch; it's a woman takeover, which I'm fine with. You know, all I asked for was my studio and my surround sound and TV. And I guess the surround sound is up for negotiations, but that's for another podcast. We'll get to that. But yes, love is in the air. But I had to adapt. With the pandemic, and I was doing live Facebook shows and things like this, you know, trying to make some money too, which they were doing pretty good. I was actually making a pretty decent chunk of change per show I did live on Facebook. And then my other YouTube channel, Studio 47 Presents, I actually ended up doing a really cool thing. I didn't think I could do it. I still to this day have trouble realizing how I actually managed to get this done, but I did a live open mic, virtual open mic, where I was live on YouTube, streaming other musicians, talking to them live, and running it like an open mic, but virtual. And holy crap, it worked out for 2 good shows, and then it kind of fizzled off. We had sponsors, commercials for it. We just went 110% for a while, but man, it was fucking exhausting because it's not as cut and dry as it seems. There's a lot of technical issues that go into it. So each person that signed up, quote unquote, for the sign up sheet, I had to actually do a pre-visit with them virtually and work out the kinks with everybody. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, sometimes it took multiple tries. And it was becoming a major time consumer of my life. It way too much time than it needed to take. And I ended up getting just wore out from it because, you know, it was a 2.5 hour show on YouTube, but it was taking me 30 hours to prepare for this thing because not only was I meeting with each and every individual person, you know, and working out their kinks, I was also receiving voiceovers from a fellow musician who was doing the voiceover commentary for the commercials or for the promotion for the companies we were promoting during our YouTube during the open mic. So I was receiving his voiceovers and then editing my own kind of commercials for these things that played before the show, and subsequently between every musician I would do a little promo spot, you know, a little shout out to local businesses and how they're handling the COVID-19 situation and how you can still use their product or, you know, whatever. So that took time as well. And yeah, it was just a lot of shit. And I ended up just kind of bailing on it. I didn't want to, but it was too much. It was way too much shit. And then I tried to do another version of it, and it just became too complicated. Now that I've thought about it more, I've come to a better conclusion. If I wanted to do this again, which I might, because I like Studio 47. I think it's a cool thing and what it was going to be, especially with the open mic. But I think I have a better forum in which to do it in, and a much better thought out way to do it. And I think I might go that route. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just ranting on. This is a vent podcast. Prepare for random tangents of venting and me just sounding like a fucking madman. And plus I'm drinking coffee and I'm really fucking hyper and I'm just mumbling now. So back to Film Trigger. I was keeping steady with my reviews, and then I destroyed my phone right at the BVS review. So like this 2.5-3 month process of leading these reviews leading up to this one review, and I just like cock block y'all. I'm just done. Like, pulled the rug under your feet. Ain't gonna happen. At least it didn't seem like it, but it's gonna happen now, which is good. So moving forward with that, I'm ready to bring some more content. I'm ready to show my Patreon some more love than I have been. So yeah, I'm ready to get balanced again, you know, now that the world is turning. And I swear to God, if they try to shut things down again, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. People aren't going to let this happen again. There's not. There's a better way to handle this situation than the way they did, and we're all very aware of that. We, the people, were pretty much punished for this virus, and it wasn't even the people that were, you know, at high risk. It was everybody. In my opinion, high risk people should have been the quarantined folks, and the not high risk, healthier community should have kept their asses being able to work. You know, implement that herd community sort of thing. But that's whatever. That's fucking, what a weird world. And now we have riots in the streets, man. There were riots in the streets. Tell me, where were you? You were sitting home watching your TV. I was participating in some anarchy. Yeah, and well-deserved riots, as a matter of fact, man. I'm not gonna go too deep on this shit, but I'll tell you what, Black Lives Matter. Don't give me that, all lives matter, man. No, you're not wrong, but all lives aren't what is being oppressed right now. You know, if somebody says, you know, support breast cancer, you're going to go up to them and say, well, all cancers matter. You know, like, no, we're focused on breast cancer. We are focused on Black lives right now, and neededly so. I mean, that shit that happened to Floyd was fucking bullshit. And I had to watch the whole video. I had to watch it. That's how I am. I'm very empathic in that sense. Like, when I watch things like that, I feel those emotions. I feel the emotions, and they jump out on me. Like, I got emotional. I got very, you know, I got you know, teary-eyed, and I felt it, man. God, what a terrible thing to watch, man. Fuck those cops. Fuck those cops. You know, I don't think all cops are bad. I don't think that at all. I think cops are very important to a civil society. You know, you want anarchy? Then enjoy your anarchy, and then when you get into trouble, You're going to want to call somebody, and there ain't going to be nobody to call because there's anarchy. You know, I think society needs some sort of justice and balance, but not overly so, which is what is an unfortunate side effect. You know, and these cops, I mean, get off his fucking neck. What the fuck? What the fuck was that? Get off his fucking neck. You have people screaming at you. EMT, the guy who's trained in jujitsu, the guy who trained in jujitsu, like, he's telling you you're cutting off his air supply. The guy is screaming he can't breathe. You guys know. I'm venting, and fuck. Get off his fucking neck. I don't know how they had the restraint. Like, for me, I don't know. I can say a million things and say, well, I would have done this, I would have done that, and then when I'm actually in that situation, I don't know what I actually would have done. But I wanted somebody to assault the fucking cop, jump on the cop, get him off his neck. Yeah, you're going to jail. Yeah, you might face charges, but you saved this man's life, and who knows how that would have turned out. Imagine that. Imagine if somebody did. Imagine if somebody attacked the cop that was on George Floyd's neck to get him off his neck. What would the focus of this whole situation be? You know, let's say George Floyd survived, and now this guy is getting assault charges for attacking a cop and saving George Floyd's life. How would that turn out? Would it turn into a don't attack cops? You know, this guy could probably spend years in jail for assaulting a police officer. I don't know how that works. Maybe, I don't know how much jail time you would get for assaulting a police officer, but what would the focus of this crime that took place be if it turned out that way? I'm very curious of that. You know, would there still be riots in the streets? You know, would they be justified? You know, if George Floyd didn't die, would riots in the streets be justified? I say yes, of course they would. But, you know, it's an uphill battle to begin with. So, if somebody didn't die, would it be validated less from, you know, our government for these riots? Meaning, would they act even more intense with, you know, peaceful protesters as they are now? Which they're acting pretty fucking intense, by the way. You know, I live in, you know, not too far from Columbus, Ohio, just, you know, 40 minutes out. And I got a lot of friends, you know, protesting, getting tear gassed and all this stuff. And, you know, God bless them. You know, they're out there doing their thing. The riots, the looting and all that stuff, I don't get it, but I'd get it. You know, it's a catch-22. You know, you have these, you know, underprivileged, you know, oppressed people that are acting out. You know, riots are what you get when people feel like they're not being heard. You know, they act out in a riot, so it needs to happen. You know, but I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, and I agree with something that he said. He says we should just start a clean slate, like now. All the businesses, everything that got looted, like, hey, we get why it happened. We're just gonna start anew. Let's try to move forward from this in the right way. I hope that will happen. I don't think it will happen that way, but anyway. So yeah, all that shit's going on. Still going on. There's protests still going on today. You know, and I hope they continue. I hope they continue until something changes, because it needs to change. You know, and you think about this. That song that I sang from Sublime, you know, April 26, 1992. That happened then. What happening now, happened then. So what happened between then and now that nothing has seemingly changed? We are in an opportune moment here. Not only did an innocent man, and I say innocent because he wasn't resisting. Not only did an innocent man die due to police brutality, but these riots are also, in my opinion, being, you know, also fueled by us being shut down and quarantined for 2.5, 3 months here. There's some anxiety that's backing this riot on top of, the completely understandable reason why it's happening, on top of George Floyd's death. There's people have had enough, and we are in this, I hate using this word, but we are kind of in a woke moment of this nation where we're all seeing, wait a minute, we're being told what the fuck to do, like uncontrollably so. We have the fucking governors taking away our freedoms, and that's not their fucking job description. That's not their jobs to do that, but that's what they're doing. So they quarantined us for months. We lost our jobs. We lost our income. Some people lost their houses. They threw $1,200 at us. Thought it would help. That's pretty much throwing a cup of water onto a house fire. And then this shit happens. It was like a fucking tidal wave. When an ocean, right before a tidal wave comes, the water will recess back. And that's what that fucking quarantine was. It was the water recessing. And then, boom! George Floyd died. Here comes a fucking tsunami. And I hope it fucking changes shit. I hope it changes shit. It needs to change. We need a new world. We need something. Because this shit ain't cutting it. It's not good, man. I'm a white dude. I'm a privileged white guy. Man, my white guilt is through the roof right now. I understand when they say privilege. When all this hashtag Black Lives Matter first came out, I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. And that's because I'm a privileged white dude. I was looking at it through my lens of life. Well, all lives matter. Doesn't that make more sense? No. And just like my analogy before, if somebody says we're here to support breast cancer, you're not going to go up to them and say, well, let's support, the health for all cancers, the research for all cancers, not just breast cancer. Like, no, we are focused on breast cancer because that's what's important to that person. So let's all group around what's important to that person and get this taken care of, because there is a major problem. And that's that, my black and brown friends, I support you. And let's get this shit changed. Don't go quietly in the night. Don't fall back. Don't become silent. Keep it up. If the protest come at a stalemate, protest harder. That's what I say. But not violently. Not against your fellow people. Fucking Trump. I don't get too political because I just don't follow politics. But I thought when he did the whole Bible, photo op thing, and the way that the police or the SWAT team or whatever, who the fuck ever, pushed all those peaceful protesters out of the way, knocking 74-year-old man to the ground where he bled out of his fucking ears, just so they can make way for Trump for a photo op. Are you fucking kidding me? That is excessive use of force. This is a problem. This is a fucking problem. And don't give me the shit of, well, they've, white cops have killed white cops, but, white cops have killed white people before, and you don't see riots in the streets for them. Shut the fuck up. Yes, you're right. You're right. But that's not what we're focused on now. Black Lives Matter is an umbrella term. We are focused on our black and brown, brothers and sisters here. That doesn't mean we want brutality against white people or other people of race. No, it's an umbrella. It's if you want to know where those people's riots are, they're in the streets right now. If you had a friend, a white friend, or a Mexican friend that died from police brutality, join these people in the streets right now, because this is their riot. They are a part of this Black Lives Matter movement in one way, shape, or form. I support my black and brown friends. Black Lives Matter. I've said my piece. Don't argue with me about it in the comments. I won't argue. If you have something negative to say about it, I will delete you. If you don't like my view on it, get the fuck off my channel. Moving forward. So, you guys remember my Saw review series? Yeah, ditch that shit. I think I did 4 or 5. I can't remember. I was doing it leading up to the new Saw movie, Spiral, with Chris Rock. And then that got pushed back, so I just kind of fizzled out on the Saw series. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't mind it. Those movies were becoming repetitive, very repetitive. Cody Leach actually was doing the same review series, just by coincidence. We just had the same idea, not too uncommon in this business. And I think he ditched it around 3. So yeah, we're both just kind of like, okay, we're not gonna do this. I don't know if he'll revisit, because I know they were hard for him, and now I'm on 5. It's getting hard for me to kind of pull out more reading into this movie more than it's the same as the 4th one. Just different, same shit, different bag. And it's becoming very difficult. Not difficult, I should rephrase that. It's becoming very monotonous to review. So yeah, that review series is on hold or ditched. Drive-by news. My drive-by news has stopped. At first, when the quarantine first happened, I was like, well, I'm going to pause a little bit until there's more movie news. And then there was more movie news, but it snuck up on me. It was like movie news. I wasn't considering movie news because movies weren't coming out. And then I had to reevaluate what movie news was. And then I'm like, oh, well, yeah, we could definitely talk about this. But then I was doing the whole job thing and juggling and a phone. Okay, all this shit, all these excuses, whatever. Drive-by news fell to the wayside. And now I'm at a point where, should I bring it back? Should I bring back drive-by news? You know, where that segment where I released a video every Monday or Tuesday talking about all the past week's top entertainment news stories. Did you guys like that? Should I bring that back? Let me know in the comments below, please, if you're still with me. I want to bring it back. I really do, but it brought a lot of attention to the channel. You know, and really helped build my content up, and I really enjoyed doing it. I just enjoyed talking about it. A nice 5 to 10 minute segment just talking about what's going on in movies. You know, and yeah, it didn't survive the corona. So maybe I can rebirth that. My studio is in shambles right now. Just moving in my new lady friend, and I get shit everywhere. I mean, if I record a video, when I record a video, you guys won't see it. It's all on the floor. I could barely walk around in this room right now. There's so much crap in here, which gives me the thought that maybe I might remodel the studio. You know, now that it's all in shambles anyway, I might give it a paint job. Been doing that lately. A lot of painting. Fixing some holes I got in the walls here because I'm not careful with things and I'm clumsy. Yeah. So you guys might see some changes to the studio if I can bring myself to do it. Yeah, I wouldn't mind changing things up. Yeah, I even thought about changing the channel up a little bit. Not too much. I mean, obviously it's going to have the same integrity of talking about movies and doing movie reviews and all this stuff. But I want to do some more podcast style things. I want to talk to people more in the business. And I use that term fairly loosely. I want to talk to more people locally, or not locally, that are involved in cinematic creative outlets, if you will. I'm friends with a few videographers that shoot short films. They also do commercials for local places. Do the promotions for businesses. I even have one guy. I might even hit him up. He's with ZTP Magazine, Zombie Tap Dance. His name is, I won't say his name here, but yeah, he's sponsored. He does all the Lions Den stuff here in Ohio. Yeah, freaky. I might bring him on, see if he wants to talk about some stuff. He's a good friend. I've known him for quite some time. We've got some history together. Might bring him in, pick his brain a little bit if he's interested. Buddy, Zombie Tap Dance Magazine friend, if you're listening, I'm going to be reaching out maybe. Yeah, but I want to reach out to people that, in my local community that are involved with media, and just dive into the, what goes into that, and their process and their thinking and how they handle it and how they got to where they are. I've got people that are in radio. I've got friends that are, just a whole bunch of stuff I want to do. And I think Film Trigger could definitely branch out into a multimedia format when it comes to, podcasts, just talking in generalities. I have a friend that did a whole music video. He illustrated a music video for a band called Boba Flex. And actually, Boba Flex is from this area, so I know people that did all their videos for their actual music videos, and then I have a friend that did an illustration for an animated video that they did, and I want to bring him on. Yeah, I wouldn't mind branching out and talking to people that way and seeing what comes of that, because I enjoy talking. I do. I really enjoy engaging with people, and as much as I like doing the movie reviews, but I want to find a balance. I want to do some different things, bring some more creative things to this channel on top of what I'm already doing, because I want to stick to that integrity as well. So, yeah. What do you guys think? Do you want to see something like that? Do you want to see Film Trigger branch out into doing, some more full frontal nerdity podcasts with some local people? Maybe not even local. Maybe I can get lucky enough and get somebody who was in a movie once, like an actual movie. I know when I first started my channel, I had like 22 subscribers, and I had a friend of mine. We had worked on a short film together. You can look it up on YouTube right now. It's called The Reuben. I think it's under Island Road Media or Keith Williams something. I don't know. I'll leave a link for it in the description. Anyhow, we did some projects together, and he actually got in contact with the lady who played Dante's girlfriend in Clerks, and she agreed to do an interview with him, but he didn't have a forum. So he's like, hey, if I get you in contact with this girl, will you do an interview with her on your Film Trigger channel? And I'm like, what? This is like in the middle of my 8-month break because I didn't know how to YouTube yet. I had 22 subscribers. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Like, I didn't even have my microphone or anything yet. I just recorded straight from my phone audio. I agreed to it. I was like, yeah, but I had no clue how I would have handled it. And I'm glad it never actually came to, because I probably would have, I don't know, it probably would have hurt my channel more than anything because I was so inexperienced. Now, I would love for her to agree to do it now because I'm a little bit more seasoned. I'm a little bit more comfortable where I'm at. Few more followers. We're above the 400 notch, so still low in retrospect of YouTube, but way more than 22. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, I was so scared. Like, I was hoping that she would not agree to it because I was like, yeah, I'll do it, but I don't have any fucking clue what I'm doing. I was so nervous. I would have figured it. I would have figured out a way though. That's how I am. I'm pretty crafty like that. I let my own fears kind of take over, and I will make sure that things go right out of fear of looking stupid, and at least I try to. So I probably would have done something okay with it, but I don't think she ever didn't agree to it. I think it just fell to the wayside. It just, oh, let me talk to her. Have you talked to her yet? Oh, not yet. And then communication gets lost, and it becomes lost in a shuffle, and that's that. But yeah, I would love to start talking to people about that stuff. One person I would love to have on here, only because he's given me a little bit of attention on Vero and on Twitter, is Ray Porter, the person who plays Darkseid in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I did an image of Darkseid. One of the images that Snyder released, it was kind of like a shot, like a Dutch angle shot of Darkseid, a black and white photo, and I edited some things to where, like, I put some clouds in the background. Actually, the clouds I put in the background were from another photo that Zack Snyder released of him shooting in Albuquerque for the Army of the Dead movie that he's doing. And so I took those clouds and I put them in the background of this Dark Side shot, and I had hashtag release the Snyder Cut kind of coming out of the clouds. And really, I thought it was a cool thing. And I posted it on Vero, and Ray Porter liked it, and I thought that was awesome. He also liked another thing on Vero of mine, and then on Twitter, I made a comment to him. You know, I said something to him, and he liked that as well. Like, I was like, oh, this guy knows Film Trigger. We're like BFFs. We go way back. No, but like, I don't know. That's like the most interaction I've had with, you know, anybody that's been any movie ever in life. And the fact that he's in the Snyder Cut makes that so much more grateful for me. I'm so humble about it. Like, I'm like, oh, so he knows the name Film Trigger. When I see the Snyder Cut, I'm like, Darkseid knows the name Film Trigger. Because I'm a fucking nerd like that. It's a total geek out moment for me. But I would love to get him on here. See, I think was he on? Did Film Junkie do something with him? I think my son told me Film Junkie did something with him. I'll have to go check that out. I've been kind of not YouTubing the past few weeks, just out of straight bitterness of not being able to upload anything. I just like, fuck it. I'm done with YouTube. I'm just out of sight, out of mind for a couple weeks. Yeah. I'm so glad this is over. So much content I have planned. Before I can get to the content I had planned. And, oh man, I have a review series. You guys are going to freak out. Maybe you'll just think it's stupid, but I have a Thriller Thursday series. Big undertaking, or ontaking, however you say that. Honor undertaking. And it's going to be a while. It'll be a, you know, consistent review series, but it could take up to a year to complete, just because it's such a huge thing. But I think it's a very important aspect of my channel that I haven't really dove into yet, my horror hound self. And it will give my channel some validity to the horror community, I feel, and season me in a horror community, that horror community in its own right. You know, I love horror movies, but I don't really dive into one community or another. I just kind of have a generalized, you know, umbrella that Film Trigger covers, because I have multiple interests in multiple things. But I love slashers, horrors, I love all that shit. And I want my channel to have that pathway, that element to it that people love, you know, that people can also relate my channel to. Oh, well, shit, you know, Film Trigger, you want to talk about Star Wars? Well, Film Trigger's got a whole Star Wars review series. You want to talk about Superman? Film Trigger's got a whole Superman review series. You want to talk about Batman? It's got a whole Batman review series. And I want the same thing with, I don't want to give it away, because it's such, I think it's such a cool idea, but it is going to be horror based. And it's a very unique idea, I think, and it's going to at least earn me some sort of badge that I desire to have from the horror community, you know. And maybe I can get Cody Leach's attention a little bit. Me and him are very talkative on Facebook, and I say very meaning, you know, we like and comment on each other's posts like once every few weeks. But yeah, maybe I can shoo my way into, you know, that aspect, you know, into his crew, because I love watching their stuff, the Autop stream or whatever it's called, that he does with CP and Brian Lomax, yeah, and of course Durbin is also a part of his, you know, sub-genre crew, if you will. And me and Durbin go way back. If you guys know my channel, you know that. I'm not gonna tell you again. Yeah, fuck. I think I vented. I think I just vented, guys. I don't think I have anything else to vent about. It's Sunday. I feel good. Thank you for listening to me. I think I'm gonna go play some music on the lake. Why? Because I ain't got shit to do today except edit a couple videos, and I can do that later this evening. So moving forward with this channel, I'm glad I'm back. I'm glad the Snyder Cut is finally being released. Yes! Hashtag Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be released next year I'm so stoked. I hope I can get it in a fucking hard copy or a digital copy or something where I can just turn it on and watch it as a whole rather than a series. But I'll take what I can get. And hashtag release the Snyder Cut Vision. Or hashtag release the Snyder Vision. And yes, thank you guys for sticking with me. I don't think it didn't go unnoticed that I didn't lose. Let me rephrase this. I lost one subscription, even though I haven't uploaded in 3 weeks. I didn't expect that. Thank you guys for sticking it out with me. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, you're why I do this. I mean, I do this for me, but you are the fuel that lights my fire. That sounds really weird. I'm just trying to say it. I don't not like you. I've had too much coffee. All right, guys, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to go do some music and editing and fun stuff like that. As always, stay trigger happy, my friends. Stay safe. Peace.